Hey, gorgeous moon children, and how are you doing? Here we are in May 2021 readings. Kind of wild to think about, but I'm so excited to sit down with your energy and just feel through it. This is a wild month. It is just, there's a lot happening. There's a lot moving around, and we're all getting kind of this reworking and review time around who we want to be in this life, how we want to live, what strictures, what bounds do we want to live within. And I'm not even talking about obvious things. I'm talking about like the insidious things, like beauty standards and aging standards and quality of life standards and different things, and what has value and what has a lock on our time and our resources and our mental space that really aren't doing anything. So it's that kind of reworking that's going on. Let's talk about some of it going on. And before I do, I just wanted to give you all the message that came through for Cancerians, my lovelies. Oh, I love you guys so much. Okay, so the message that came through is to keep it simple. Don't try and load your plate up with 100 things this month. I want you to the message was value your time and energy. Like, value it. It is your precious time and energy, and you get to use it the way that feels appropriate to you. So don't burn yourself out. Don't run the well dry trying to be 100 different things or worrying about all the transits I'm going to talk about, because for the most part, they're very supportive of you and your water energy. And it's a really big review time for Cancers. It's almost like you're about to turn the corner into some really powerful, cool stuff, especially once we hit Cancer season. So this is an important couple of months or 6 weeks or so where you're going to be culminating some things. The other thing to keep in mind is notice your body. Use your body's signals to let you know when you need to rest or when it's time to go. To just notice what feels icky, what feels good, what feels like it's allowing your soul to radiate, and what's feeling like you're kind of locked down. Notice all of those. So that was the big message that came through for Cancerians. Let's talk about this month. What I mean when I say that it is a powerful month, because, okay, Jupiter moves into Pisces this month for a little while. Jupiter moves into Pisces, will move forward a little bit, and then start a retrograde and move back through Pisces, back to Aquarius for the end of the year. But we have this little preview of Jupiter in Pisces energy, which I'm really excited about. This is going to be great for you Cancerians, because this is going to illuminate your 9th house of vision, give you a lot of great daydreaming, a lot of great ideas, help you to learn, expand, explore, really support you. So Jupiter in Pisces is going to be awesome for Cancers. Mars is also in your sign this month and will be for a little while. And this is also really great for you as far as that watery visionary energy. Now, there's some other things going on. This is a really interesting time of year for you all, because we start in Taurus season, which is all about friends, family, community, like your place in like the ecosystem of humanity, right? But then we start very quickly having all this energy go into Gemini, including Mercury, which will then go in retrograde at the end of the month. And as the energy starts moving into Gemini, we're getting into prep season for Cancer season, right? We're getting into a time of deep mysticism. I always think of the month before a solar return as a time of mystic return to behind the scenes hidden energy. So we have all this energy moving into Gemini. We have a Mercury retrograde beginning in Gemini. And we also have eclipse season beginning in Gemini this month with a solar or a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which is really interesting 6th house energy, intuitive body energy. But my point being that there's just this huge kind of like intensity, Queen of Swords, of energy starting to move into the hidden watery realms for Cancerians. And I love this because this is a part of your natural modality, right? To be able to sense things from behind the scenes, sense things from the unseen, the non-physical world, and be able to translate that into physical. And because of Jupiter's placement, because of Mars placement, because all this energy is pouring into the sign right before yours, into 12th house energy, mystery, mysticism, school energy, you're getting a 7 of Swords. You're getting a lot of your ideas, your movement, your inspiration from that unseen realm. And this is helping you prepare for a new season of life, is what I'm getting. Like, there is about to be such a gorgeous season of life coming up. As we hit into Cancer season, things are going to start to look very different in our world. And then I think also specifically for Cancerians, the Emperor. Ooh, wow. Very powerful cards today. And so this is a really wonderful time to kind of wash away any old grime, dust from the road of this last chapter. 9 of Pentacles. Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini and is at home at Gemini. And this is an air sign. So this is about how we communicate and think. It's also, so for everyone, there's also this emphasis on how are our thoughts hurting us or helping us? And how, like, literally it can change how we feel about ourselves and our day and our bodies and everything, right? And how quick the response is between those. And I think this Mercury retrograde is really going to amplify that. And so for you all, this is also about, you know, because there's about to be so much supporting you and coming in, we really want to make sure that we give ourselves the opportunity to be fully present for that by letting go of painful stories, of letting go of any little sneaky storylines that are hurting. I know I always find new ones, or ones that I thought I had really addressed that have popped back up. And I think this last year of stress resuscitated some that I had kind of calmed and soothed down, and so I'm right there with you guys. But here, like, look at this. This is so interesting to me. Queen of Swords and the 7 of Swords. What a wild combo. Because when I think about the Queen of Swords, I think about being really direct, right? And the internal voice that gets activated when Queen of Swords is around is a voice that just says, you know where to go. You know what's true. You know what path feels good to you. It's very simple. It's very clear. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It doesn't require you to be overworking yourself or wearing 10 different hats or coming up with really complex storylines. It's just, you know exactly what it is, right? She's just very direct. You know what you want. You know what's true to your heart. You know what you need. You know what doesn't serve you. You know what to just... Don't even need to worry about it. Don't even need to, like, carry it with me, right? There's a directness, a clarity. It's that inner knowing voice that we sometimes access when we're going on a walk and we're just relaxed, or we're meditating, or we're having a really profound dream that just says, you already know, right? Or when we're journaling. And then the 7 of Swords is very squirrely and is very, like, to me, this represents that part of our mind that is coming up with a whole bunch of machinations for how we're allowed to do something, or how we're allowed to get away with something, or even just creating a world in which, in order for us to exist, we have to be getting away with something. And that, I think, is the deeper lesson of 7 of Swords. So often this card gets interpreted as, oh, you have somebody sneaky in your life who's doing things that are always self-serving, even into the destruction of others, and always kind of backhanded and sneaky. But when I see 7 of Swords, what I see is us feeling that way about ourselves in our position in the world, and feeling like the only way we're allowed to be an artist and do our thing, or be loved, or have success, or have an identity, or whatever it is that you feel like, you know, is calling to you, we have to somehow, like, put on our costume, right? Like our human, beautiful, socially acceptable costume. And we need to, you know, even if we're doing things in a conscientious way, we feel like we're sneaking around. When 7 of Swords shows up, to me, that is a time to look at those places where you feel like you're getting away with something just because something's going well, just because it's something you want. And do you feel like you're sneaking around? Do you feel like you have to hide it? And there's such a difference here between Queen of Swords, who's so like, you know, you're allowed to have this, go for it. And Seven of Swords, which is like, I'm getting away with something. I live in a world where I have to be stealthy. I have to like hide myself. I have to like find ways to undermine. And, you know, when we think about that as a literal interpretation of the card, if you think about somebody who maybe does act selfishly or you know, behind the scenes or without any conscience, those people are normally people who feel that way about themselves. They're really expressing it in the physical world. Most of us feel it as something inside of ourselves and is a reflection of how we treat ourselves. And that's a much more important part of this process. We can worry as much as we want about people who are being backhanded. And if you have somebody who is being squirrely and weaselly and doing things like that, yeah, you're definitely going to want to review that. But this is all about self-trust. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I love this. Emperor and Nine of Pentacles. These are, like, Queen of Swords is very direct, so is Emperor. Emperor is about activating the inner leader, the inner father, the inner master, really. Of course, the Emperor can represent being stubborn, being bullheaded, being overly dominant. I also think Mars, you know, Mars is associated with the Emperor, and Mars is in your sign. But I think about the activated Emperor, somebody, the energy here is somebody who really, it's not complicated. Once again, it's very simple. They just take their seat at the table. They value their time. They value what they can bring to the world. And it's an inner state. And I noticed that this is something, actually, as I'm talking about this, I want to spend some time on Emperor this week and this month, activating more of that in myself. It is a sense of self-composure and presence in your own life. Unlike this character, right, who's sneaking around and feeling unworthy and feeling like they have to hide themselves, which I think all of us have some part of ourselves where we feel like, you know, the Emperor is like, what? I'm the seat of honor in my own life. I'm obviously here. What are you doing here? And it's a really powerful place to be, especially if you're somebody who has felt unworthy. To activate the Emperor is very powerful. And the other side of it is, yes, okay, visibility, taking up your space, but it's this Nine of Pentacles because it's also just about feeling relaxed in your life, feeling like you don't have to have the guard up all the time, feeling like you don't have to perform all the time, feeling like you can just be and relax into your gifts and your beauty and feel stable in that. And so, like, let's just summarize all this that I've just been talking about. For me, this is a month where it's really important to tend to the garden of your thoughts and notice where you're feeling either like the Seven of Swords or the Nine of Pentacles, and to have, you know, maybe a bit of a goal to choose more and more this clear, crisp, simple, soft Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Swords clarity. And that will help you activate this confidence. And it might seem really small to just in your mind, like, choose to think of yourself as surrounded by safety, by love, by divine hugs. But it's so powerful. It's such powerful medicine. And even just acknowledging those stories that are hurting us and holding us and making us feel like we're getting away with something by being happy, by being loved, by being courageous and vulnerable is something that needs to go. Right? And I see so much power and so much unlocking of doors this month, Cancer, for you. And like I said too, like, this month is about preparing yourself and getting, you know, just clearing the way and getting your focus on where you're going and getting most of your energy there so that it's not getting eaten up by stuff from this last life chapter and from old traumas, right? So this is really important. It's just tending to your garden this month. This isn't about big catastrophic external events. This is going to be a lot about behind the scenes in your hidden world, Cancerians. and how important that is. But you'll notice that things change really fast, especially with this Mercury transit through Gemini the next couple of months. Things happen really fast when we tend to this garden, and you'll notice there's a real conversation going on. So keep that in mind. Okay, I would love to see you over on Patreon, where we are going to be deep diving into Jupiter and Pisces, Mercury retrograde, eclipse season. I'm going to be doing worksheets and chats throughout the month of May over there. So I'd love to see you. You can also, I would love for you to stay here because we're going to have more chats here as well. And of course, you can find me on Instagram and my website. So I'll leave all of my links below so you know where to find me, my beautiful friends. And I will see you next month for more adventure ahead. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And I'm so excited to see where this adventure takes you.